Welcome to Disclosure Network New York. Today is Sunday, October 13th, 2019. I'm Nick Curto, dnny Director and Co-Founder. dnny is a grassroots organization now celebrating our 18th year of providing 2 meetings per month throughout the year in Manhattan. We focus on cutting-edge UFO ET issues, paranormal phenomenon, and many related important subjects that are in the back of the mainstream news that they'll never, ever report. In other words, who or what is pulling the strings? Our members do intensive investigative research into these various topics and share that information with the group at our meetings, as well as our with our internet followers, and also on YouTube, where we audio tape the meetings and put them on YouTube every single time. Our motto right from day one is, quote, connecting the dots to seek truth, unquote. We have available to everyone worldwide a dnny News Blast email service focusing on the topics of special interest that is totally free to everyone. Just visit our website, and I'm going to give you that right now. The website is dnny.info. That's dnny.info. When you get there, just type in your email address and click, and you'll be immediately connected to our news service, and you'll be getting all of our bulletins as they come throughout the year. Many people have already been assigned to this service, and we have a fairly large following worldwide. That is something we've been doing for a while now, and we're very, very pleased that so many people have joined us that way. We get some responses from all over the world, and so that is really very exciting indeed. Okay, so now to get right to it, we have for our meeting today invited 2 featured guest speakers, and we are so thrilled to have them. They are writers, and in one case an actor, which is Elizabeth Fuller and Joel Vig. Guys, welcome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth and Joel, for joining us today. Okay, we just set up the speakers. Are we okay with the speakers here?
I don't know, I'm going to say hello.
Hang on now, guys.
Tell them to say hello.
Hello, are we okay? Guys, say hello, okay? We're going to see if it picks up. Elizabeth? I'm not getting it.
I think it's at the bottom.
Sorry, man. We're just doing a little quick sound check. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. There you go.
Okay, then we can begin then. All right. We're going to be discussing the task of writing a brand new play about Betty and Barney Hill and their UFO abduction experience. What goals you as writers had to be accurate and create an honest treatment of this event, and also what you wanted to avoid in the crafting of this new play set for the New York stage. Because average people who have hopefully an open mind will be looking at this work and perhaps changing their mind because of your work. So we want to start right off. Elizabeth, I'm going to start with you in a quick interview, like a background, if I could. Is that all right?
Yes, Nick. Sure, of course, Nick.
Okay, here we go. You are indeed the co-playwright. You have written 10 published books and is an editor contributor to the New York Times. Also, you were a playwright of Me and Jezebel, and which is based on your book of the same title. The New York Times called your play, quote, delicious, great fun to watch, unquote. And in 2015, Me and Jezebel won the Best Play by Broadway.com. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh boy, that's an amazing accomplishment. It also has played off-Broadway and its original run, and the revival has also gone throughout the United States. The play has also had productions in 15 foreign countries, which is an amazing accomplishment, and is under option for a feature film. Your autobiography play, Adoption Roulette, co-written by Joel, will have its world premiere in Palm Springs, California, in the Desert Ensemble Theater in, I believe, January or February of next year. Well, that's a lot, Elizabeth. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nick.
And I want to ask you, because I just had to, the autobiographical play, Adoption Roulette, can you just briefly tell us what it is, what it's about?
Yes, it's about my husband and myself going to Russia to adopt a child and making 2 trips to Russia near Siberia. And it's about deception, lies, and kidnapping, everything involved in it during our trip. And it was, Joel is the one who convinced me, after it took me years to even talk about the story, 10 years to talk about it, and Joel convinced me, and I said, okay, we'll write it together. And so that's what it's about.
Oh, that's fantastic. That sounds like it could be a movie already. Wow, that would be an amazing story. And you know, you can't even write, some things that that go on in your own life. You know, you couldn't even sit down at a computer and write them. They just happen to your life, as you know.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, congratulations for that. Well, please let us know how that's going too. Now I'm going to go for Joel. Joel Vig, V-I-G. And Joel, is Vig short for a longer name? I just wanted to ask that.
Actually, no. It's that's my family name, and evidently people who lived in Norway near a fjord called Vikfjord were called Vig. And when I moved to New York, it was funny because when I was shopping for props in Little Italy, a man said to me, who I was down in a little Italian store, he said, "That's a tough name." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "Don't you know what the Vig is?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, let's say you go to the mob and you borrow $500 with the idea that you pay it back 1 week from that day. And in addition to the $500, you have to pay $250 as interest, and that's called the VIG. And if you don't pay the VIG, you might end up with the cement overshoes."
Oh, wow, that's a great story. Let me just go through your bio very quickly. Joel Vig returned this month from performing the world premiere of his new play, quote, "Truman Talks to Nellie Harper Lee," unquote, in Monroeville, Alabama, where you were. In fact, I talked to you when you were there. Vic has written 2 other commission plays about Capote, and which you played around the country. You won the Judge's Choice Award in the nonfiction writing contest sponsored by Barnes & Noble and the Dan's Papers in East Hampton in 2017. Vig's play, Louis, help me with that name, was it Baravel?
Which name was that?
Yeah, Louis Baravel, is that how you pronounce it? The World's,
yes.
The World's at Your Fingertips played a national tour with TheaterWorks USA, including the prestige venues such as the Brooklyn Academy of Music, the Town Hall in New York City, and the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Good for you. Wow, that's great. Vig's acting career includes original 6 starring roles in the original Broadway cast of Hairspray, winning 8 Tony Awards, including the Best Musical, fantastic, and creating the starring role in the cult musical hit Ruthless. That's amazing, Joel. You are a writer, director, actor, and you've worked for over 30 years at the Theater Guild with stars including Patricia Neal, Gene Stapleton, and Tammy Grimes. That is outstanding. Again, what a career, Vig. That's an amazing accomplishment. So,
thank you.
Congratulations to you. All right, I want to start off with a couple of early background questions, and then we'll get to the play. Okay. First one, I'd like to ask you both. We'll start with Liz. Liz, may I call you Liz?
Please call me Liz.
Okay, thank you very much. Just Liz, first, may I ask, where were you born?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, all right. And were you part of a large family with many brothers and sisters, or what was that like?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay. And did your family stay in one place, or did you move around when you were growing up?
No, I was born and raised in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, and I moved out after college. I moved to California. I was actually a flight attendant for 7 years.
Okay, very good. And just briefly, schooling, just share with us that, just briefly.
I went to Ohio State.
Okay, all right. And just a last question about backgrounding. I'm always interested in knowing, because you're a creative person, and were there other people in your family, on either side of the family, that were creative, or were you the only one in your family?
Well, my father comes from a musical family, but my brother is also a writer, poet, and so it was just basically my older brother and I who became more or less the creative offsprings.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Vig, we're going to go to you now. If you will, where were you born?
I was born in Freeport, Illinois, but I was raised from the time I was 2.5 in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Okay, and you said you have brothers and sisters? I didn't quite follow that.
My brother, I have, there were 6 in my family.
Wow.
My older sister, my older brother, my 2 younger brothers, and my baby sister. And then after my father died, my mom remarried a man who she and my dad had known their whole lives, and he had 5 children, so I have an extended family of 11 siblings.
Oh my goodness, wow, that's incredible. Well, it must be hard keeping a track of whose birthday is where. Good for you.
Exactly.
Wow, and just wanted to ask, did your family stay in one place, Vig, or did you move around when you were younger?
I grew up my whole life in North Dakota. Most of my family now lives in Minnesota, but my oldest sister lives in California, and I live in New York, and then spend the cold months in California. So we cover both coasts and the Midwest with my family.
Spending the cold months in California sounds like a very good plan to me. Also, just another one about your schooling. Vig, just give us a brief idea.
I graduated with honors from the University of North Dakota with a major in theater arts, acting, and directing, and then I've taken and taught professional classes in New York for a number of years.
Okay, very good. Excellent. And last question on that is, about you're so creative. You've done so many different types of creativity, acting, directing, writing, all that. Are there other people in your family that were like that also?
Most of my family is, I come from a family of engineers, and my father was an engineer. All 3 of my brothers are engineers. But my mom was very, very creative. She was the oldest of 10 kids, and they were, my grandparents were great believers in education, and all 10 of the kids got college degrees. And my mom got a degree in dietetics, and she was a dietitian, but she also was a very artistic person. She was a speaker, and she was a performer. She ended up going to, she was elected to the state legislature in North Dakota. She ended up going to the Paris peace talks to try to get an end to the Vietnam War. She was a real mover and a shaker.
I guess so. And I think it's easier if someone in the family is creative in some capacity, and you're not the only one. It's a little more of a struggle if you are. But me too. I had some creative people in my family, and it really helped me quite a bit. Okay, we're going to start zeroing in now on this amazing play that you're doing. It's quite a challenge. The task of writing a cutting-edge new play for the New York stage depicting UFO abduction, a documented event. And it is also well known to many ufologists and moviegoers, of course, because there was a movie made. Whenever a breaking story occurs about a UFO abduction incident, there are, as you well know, many skeptics that will be aggressively attacking any information that comes out about that. People who've had an abduction experience can be incredibly traumatized by that backlash that happens, and a lot of them don't even mention it ever to anyone because it's traumatized to them, and they feel as though they just don't want to even say a word about it. So that's a dynamic that goes on. It takes a strong person, or in this case, persons, to eventually say to the world that this happened to us. So my question is for both of you, Liz and Vig, how did you approach writing this sensitive material? What did you want to put on the stage, and what were you trying to avoid, possibly?
Well, Bill and I this had been filming for years with Bill and me, and we wanted to keep true to the material. But with that said, we wanted to make it a electrifying show. We had to remain 100% true to the story, but we had to, maneuver a little bit of very little creative license here and there. But with that said, we believe, 100% true to the abduction, which is in itself very unbelievably theatrical. So it was really basically just being able to structure. Then we had to also consider if we want the play to go on viewer, we can't have 10 aliens and have a cast of 6 or 8. So we had to figure out how to do it with a small cast and no aliens. And I think, well, Nick, you saw it, and Joel, you can say, Joel, is the one who came up with the concept. Let's have it in the professor's classroom. And so it's all, everything that happened is there. But of course we had to condense it because this didn't take place over, you know what I mean. We had to condense the whole story. But anybody who goes they're seeing truth, they're seeing the actual abduction, and they're hearing the actual abduction tapes. Not the tape, but we didn't change the wording or anything.
And Vic, do you want to add to that?
Pardon?
Would you like to add to what Liz was saying?
Oh, I just what amazed me most about the whole story. It happened when I was just 9 years old, and so, or going on 8, going on 9, and so I remember vaguely being fascinated hearing these news reports and things as a child, but then it went out of my consciousness. So when I revisited it with Liz, and of course by reading her late husband John Fuller's book, it just resonated so strongly with me that what these people had gone through was really like a double whammy. They finally find out through hypnotic regression
You know, in the audience, when you did the very first New York reading about a month ago, I think the audience, including myself, was on the edge of our chair because it just rang true. And the fact that you stuck to exactly what they were saying that was documented on the audio tape.
Yeah, I think we're not insisting that people buy the story of these people. We're just asking people to come with an open mind and listen to the background and listen to the facts and make up your own mind. See what you believe.
When you asked me to go up with the panel after the reading for a Q&A, and when it was my turn to say something, I said that the timing of this play I felt was very, very important, because for 70 years, anyone who said, I saw something in the sky, and it wasn't anything that from this planet, it was definitely not eyewitnesses, photographs, video, and were very much ridiculed for 70 years by the government that said, you must have been seeing swamp gas, you must have been seeing balloons or something like that, and people said, I know what I saw, and it wasn't anything like that. And so the timing of this play is interesting to me because if you notice, the last year or so, the government has done an amazing reversal, 180 degrees. They have been on television and radio and saying that the Air Force as well as the Navy has documented radar with very, very highly detailed facts about the craft that they were tracking, or crafts. And this is something that they really very recently released to the public. So what they're doing here is saying, well, actually, it is true. There is something there. We don't have it. They're saying we don't have a handle on that. I don't believe that part of it. But the fact that to the public, the general public, they're saying, yeah, this is real, all right. That's huge. Ufologists.
And you heard my husband, a former Air Force pilot, 28 years flying for the Air Force. He saw a UFO, and he was told that if he reported it, he'd end up in the shrink's office in Washington for the rest of his flying days.
Yeah. So this is quite the timing of the play. I just think was amazing. When I first got wind that this was going to happen, my first thoughts were, I can't wait to see it, because this is I knew the story. A lot of ufologists have known and followed the story for years, and to see it put on a stage with this kind of timing was amazing. So, and I got to just say, as an aside, the actors, all three actors, were tremendous. They absolutely owned those parts, and they were such good picks. Who picked the three actors, by the way? Did you have a hand in that?
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
It was a fight about Noel Vig and Mark Graham.
And since Shirley MacLaine's daughter is playing Benny, I had to ask, because it occurred to me, did Shirley MacLaine have any input, encouragement for this play?
Well, she writes about how she always believed in UFOs, and she read John Fuller's book when it came out, but we haven't spoken to Shirley about this yet. We hope to talk to her. We hope she'll show up at the show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because of her books. I have her books, and she's amazing at what she's revealed. And so I just thought perhaps there was a connection there. So that's interesting. So now you're going to have the reading next Thursday night. We have upwards of 30 plus people that are already signed on to see it.
Great.
With a few more will probably come in.
Make sure they get there. Make sure they get there about right before. Don't come late. Be there early.
Right. We're going to be there. I'll be there right at 6:32 at the door, and I'm going to give you guys the list of the people, so we'll be able to credential it that way and get them in. And by the way, having a wine and cheese, a little reception before the reading. Thank you so much. That was amazingly kind.
Well, we're making it festive and fun.
Well, I'm looking forward very much to that. Now, we have some people in the room here that might have a question. I don't know at this point. Does anybody in the room want to address any issues? Yeah, well, why don't you come on? No, come on, get up, please, and come over here, Tom, if you will. And if you will, sit here with me and just say your first name, and then, if you will, whatever question you have. Go right ahead.
My first name is Kirsten, and you mentioned that your husband was, he flew, correct? And that
He was an Air Force pilot for 28 years.
right, and he was told he couldn't talk about anything. Was there anything that he saw, and did this influence your writing of the play?
He saw it. I wish he were here right now. He could tell you. He was flying in Wake Island, and they had just landed, and they saw something hovering out over the water, and he watched it, he and his entire crew. He was a co-pilot at that time, and they watched it for 20 minutes hover, and then all of a sudden other airplanes were coming in and landing, and they were reporting it, and my husband called the air traffic, the tower, and they said they had a record of it. They didn't know what it was. And so he and his entire crew watched it for 20 minutes, and it just darted off. And so my husband said, well, I guess I better report this. And the captain, the colonel, said, you report that, and you're going to have, your flying days are over.
That's fascinating. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
I hope
Liz.
you show up I hope to meet you on Thursday night.
Okay, we have another gentleman who's now here. If you give your first name and please your question.
Okay, hello, my name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, and my question is, in creating your play, I wonder if you went over the same material, or let's say stood on the shoulders of the people who created the movie in 1975 with James Earl Jones playing the part of Barney Hill, and written by Hesper Anderson, Jake Justiz, and S. Lee Pogostin. And I wonder whether you have more material than they had, or something that's more authentic than they had, or whether you worked with them on this.
Okay, they optioned my husband's book. They optioned the book, Interrupted Journey. They took everything, they took it from us. So what was ever in the movie was taken from John Fuller's book, The Interrupted Journey.
Great, thank you.
Actually, when Liz and I first started working on this, I said, should we watch the movie? Because actually, Estelle Parsons, who plays the opposite James Earl Jones, is an old friend of mine, and Liz said, I think we're better off to just go directly from John's book, because we want to sort of get our own take on it, and I think that probably was a very wise choice, because we've crafted a play that really exists just between the doctor, the psychiatrist who put them under hypnotic regression, and Betty and Barney themselves. And so it's very much a very different approach to finding the truth in this story.
Oh, thank you, Vig.
And incidentally, that time I married John, we got married in 1979.
Uh-huh.
What we did was stay very true exactly to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And what we think we've accomplished is interesting because we can do this. Betty and Barney make it come alive for us. We don't need aliens, which would make it very stuffy, would make it very almost silly on stage. And so we just want it to be very organic, very much the story of Betty and Barney and Dr. Simon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, I'm so glad when I saw the reading that, there were some writers who would use holograms to depict the ETs. I think that some writers would have done something like that on stage. And I was very happy that you chose to make the decision not to do that and to stick exactly to what was being said. That was, to my thinking, that was a very, very, very smart decision.
Because so much is done now, we're spend millions doing that, but then go see a disc player or something. We just really wanted it to be authentic, organic, and let the audience travel to where they take them.
Yep. So.
I'm so happy that you and that you appreciate what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Liz, are you on speakerphone? It's a little hard for me to hear. Are you able to just speak into the phone rather than being on speakerphone?
Can you hear me now?
It's better.
Okay.
So, anyway, yeah, I think, when I was talking to a friend in California who was very high-tech, and I was telling him about this story, he was telling me about all of these incredible things that, they could now do a Frank Sinatra concert and have Frank himself appear as a holographic image that looks like an actual person is there. And he said, you should look into it. You could have those aliens, walk across the stage. And I said, I think it's so much more powerful.
Yeah.
The human mind is capable of creating, when they listen to what is being spoken by these people, they can see it themselves, and that to me has so much more theatrical power. It's really the difference between theater and film is that theater is almost magical because the human mind is a big part of the whole creative process. And, as high tech as all of these images are and computer graphics and everything else, when you just come down to listening to these two people describe what happened to them and find out that, they have the exact same recollections, what these aliens looked like, what they sounded like, how they communicated, did they speak English? Well, no, they didn't speak, but then it was all almost through telepathic communication. Barney, under this hypnosis, that I knew what they were saying when I looked into their eyes. And I think that for an audience member, that really begins to become very haunting and powerful.
Oh, absolutely did. It was incredibly powerful moments in your script and on stage, and that was a really wise decision to really go the route that you did. I just applaud you for that. I just wanted to also ask you, before we go, just any final thoughts you have about about the play, about the future of the play, anything like that you want to tell us, please.
Well, on Thursday night, we have some very important Broadway producers who are coming, and we're hoping that we get, we're looking for either an off-Broadway or a Broadway production of the show. And we basically, what you're going to see on Thursday night is pretty much what the show will be. It's a staged reading, so the actors will have scripts in hand, but they'll be moving around. And so it'll be very similar to a play, but the actors will be reading the script.
Right. And that did work very well. And I got to say, and this is my personal opinion here, but the acting was amazingly good. And when you have a script in your hand and you're walking through blocked movements and you're reading your script, that's an additional talent. But when they have no scripts in their hand, when they're able to use their body language and their face and their hands and all that more, it is going to be even more powerful, as you can imagine. And I'm so looking forward to the final product of this amazing play, because those actors were dynamite with the scripts in their hands. So when they're free of that and able to do all the subtleties that a good actor will do, that's going to be absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you. We so appreciate your support, I can't tell you. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday night.
Well, we were all looking forward very much to that. So with that, Vig, do you have any other final thoughts here before we go?
I just thank you so much, Nick, for giving those actors credit. You may not have realized that the reading that you saw, Richard Pryor Jr. had never met those other two actors until noon that day. He had never had a rehearsal on his feet until that afternoon. And so, it is amazing what these actors are bringing to this. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that the source material of what Betty and Barney went through is so powerful that all three of them have said, we're just connecting to this material in a way that we haven't felt about a play in so long. So we're as excited as you are.
Absolutely, Vig.
And you'll be part of the talkback, Nick, I hope.
Pardon?
Go
We'll
ahead.
have the talkback right after the show, and you'll be part of it.
I've been to some meetings that I get invited to with the UN for one of their wings, and I've met some people there that are also ufologists. And some of those people said, count me in on Thursday night. So you're going to get some heavy-duty ufologists that will be in the audience with us, and I just wanted you to know that.
We'll point them out and have them, if they want to join us, they're welcome to join us too.
So with that then, this has been such a joy and such a pleasure to interview you both, Liz and Vig, on behalf of the members of Disclosure Network New York, both here with us today as well as on YouTube listeners. We want to thank you so much for your exciting and insightful talk. We want you to at some point come back when we can talk more about the play and what's going to be going on with that. The DNNY members, guys, will you please give Vig and Liz a deep appreciation with your wonderful round of applause.
Thank you so much.
This is Nick Curto for Disclosure Network New York, wishing you all an enlightened journey as you connect the dots in your own life. And also, till next time, keep informed, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.